Jerry's machine is done. Yay! I'm just going to show you really quickly the test stitches that we've already done on this. The far left is some tiny, then your basic about 10 or 12 inches, and then some basting stitches. And that's what it looks like on the front and back. I can't honestly tell you which side I sewed this on at this time. But let's give her a quick listen to see how we do. Hold her thread. And there you go. My cat's being a bit of a pill, but that's the way. The stitches are just gorgeous. So I can't tell you how happy I am with how this machine turned out. Welcome to my sewing room. Meet Jerry's finished featherweight. Her case has been polished. As much of the rust on these latches has been removed, as well as on the top and the back. Her foot pedal was cleaned up a little bit. The rewiring had already been done. And as you can see, she's nestled down in her box. I'll pull her out really quick with all of her goodies. I like to put everything back that came with the featherweights, and I think going forward I might consider maybe encouraging people to empty out their boxes before they bring them to me. But anyway, so I sewed a little faceplate for Jerry. She loves owls, and you can kind of see right here the stitches. I like to sew one of these with every machine that I either fully restore or service, because it gives me a chance to check out how it sews in real time, and also notice if there's any hiccups on the motor where it doesn't have the power to go through maybe a lot of layers. I did have that happen one time on one of the corners when it was going through an enormous amount of thickness, and I had to move the flywheel a little bit to get it to keep going, and then she just powered through the rest of it. Anyway, let's take a look at this. So you can kind of see here are our stitch tests, from basting to your everyday stitch to really tiny, and it's looking great on both sides. I don't even remember which side is what on this one. She sews amazingly well. She sounds great. You probably saw that in the test sewing video. But what I wanted to talk about that I didn't is what I did need to do to this machine. And that is beyond just replacing the light switch, which, not the light switch, but the actual lead sheath and the light in there, which was the primary goal of the service, and polishing the exterior, which was kind of a for fun. And then going through the motor, which is something that everyone should always do when you're working on someone's featherweight, is open that motor up and take a real look inside. But you need to feel confident and be careful. And so in this case, Jerry's grease wicks were pretty crusty. We replaced them. The grease ports were pretty dirty, so they're cleaned out and new grease is in there. The commutator was filthy. There was a lot of carbon dust on the bottom from one of the brushes. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on, why that was heavier. I'm sure just gravity was the bottom one. But the commutator was very dirty, and the whole inside casing was dirty. So we cleaned that all up to help with the connectivity, the performance of the motor, polished the spindles on either end to help it move more smoothly, but the wiring checked out okay. The biggest problem with Jerry's machine was actually the timing on the needle. So the timing was a little fast. So I did adjust the timing, and when it came time to test sew, I was a little nervous, thinking, I wonder if it was sewing great beforehand. And no, actually it sews perfectly now. I imagine it might have had a few issues, some skip stitches. It was significantly out of line. It doesn't take much. It could be just 1/8 of an inch or less, and it can really make it difficult for your machine to catch the stitches the way it needs to. And in this case, that has been corrected. So what did we do? To quickly sum up, we replaced the wiring harness of the light switch and removed the lead. We made sure to update a bad wire on the light switch where there was only one single strand of copper connecting it to the light switch anymore, so that wire was replaced. The timing was corrected, and the motor was thoroughly cleaned with the commutator was cleaned. You'll be able to look in the other videos that I have on this project what each one of those elements looked like before we started, and hopefully you can check out the videos to see what it looked like when it was done. But for now, here is a look at our completed spruce up project. Wouldn't call this a restoration, because to do that I would really disassemble it much more thoroughly than I did, but I do think she looks amazing, and I hope that Jerry's really happy, and I can't wait to share it with her. I hope you guys enjoyed checking out these videos, and have a wonderful day.